I think.
I agree, and I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of people that you're like, why wasn't she in it? Why was that? I totally get it. I totally get it.
And to that we say, make your own fucking podcast, right?
No, listen
Come on,
to ours,
huh?
but hold on.
Why don't you do? You think this is easy?
You're scaring them away. Come back. It's all right, little fella. You come back to the podcast now. Anyway, yeah.
Run, he's gonna punch you.
It's tournament style.
Hello and welcome to Tournament Style. I am your host, Austin, and I am joined, as always, by my bestie himself, Guillermo. Guillermo, what temperature do you sleep at?
Like, what temperature is my body at? Like 90?
No, like in your
99.
No, obviously not
like
that.
Average human temperature, right?
Obviously not that. What temperature is your home at?
Oh, right. What do I keep the thermostat at when I sleep?
Yeah, I guess you want to nitpick everything I'm saying.
Look,
here.
You literally called me your bestie. You know me. I have to process these things a certain way. I like 72 as my average.
Do you sleep or like throughout the day?
I keep it for both, right?
Oh, okay. You don't change it.
Sometimes, especially if I'm like having trouble falling, which I often do, having trouble falling asleep. I like it colder, so so down to 70. I rarely will put a thermostat below 70, and that's hammered in from like my father. That's not a thing we do. Like below 70, you have broken the thermostat.
What did your parents keep the house at when you were growing up?
My mom liked it cold. My dad didn't like to put it too low. So my mom, would try to kind of put it low, but 70 around the 70s, like low 70s for sure.
I think at a certain point growing up, my dad kept it at 80.
Really?
Yeah, just because he's like me and he gets really, really cold really easily.
I got you.
But
it wasn't like a save electricity.
No. It was because he's cold. Because he has the fan. He has the fans on also, so that kind of brought it down a little. But now I think they keep it at like 76 or something. It's a little bit more, but still kind of hot.
I was slightly cursed a little bit because I studied opera for 6-ish years.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Okay. There's this. I almost want to call it a superstition at this point. I don't sleep with fans on because I'm afraid I will wake up with a dry throat, which kind of is a thing, depending on how you sleep.
Your throat is your job.
Talk to any singer, man. That's
that's
fans
very funny
because the air blowing is what dries it out, right? Like imagine. Sit in front of a fan and it's just like
don't imagine. I do sleep with fans on.
No, I'm saying try
my
it.
Whole
like
life,
get in front of a fan and just open your mouth and let it dry out.
I've slept with fans on my whole life. It's
2
fine.
seconds and it's gone.
But to be fair, I'm not a good singer, so maybe you're onto something. I keep mine. You didn't ask, but I keep where I live at around 72. Sometimes I'll take it to 74 if I'm like cold, but normally and then to sleep I put it at 69 because nice.
I can be comfortable throughout the day with 74 for sure.
Yeah.
Are you weird question? Do you sleep in anything?
Very weird. Yeah, just boxers usually, like no shirt.
Okay, because that makes a difference too.
I guess so.
Like,
yeah. Full pajamas with the cap.
Yeah, man, dude. I've lived in apartments, just hard times, like where it's like there's no chance for the AC or AC has been broken or something, and it's just like I've had points where sleep with no cover, nothing, like just to stay cool. Especially when I lived in NAC where it was super humid, and then I lived in Houston one summer, and the guy's AC went out for the whole summer. That house stayed at like 90.
You can't do
even
that
at
in
night.
Texas,
dude. Because the humidity in Texas, it stays hot at night.
That's like against the law.
Oh man, it was like almost not livable conditions. I would say for the most part, it was like not livable conditions, and it was so It was crazy. Oh, and he was out of the country for the summer. That was what was messed up. He didn't do it on purpose. It just happened to go out when he left. And
he did it on purpose.
Yeah, he just wanted it not to have a high electricity bill. But yeah. But yeah, no, that's I like.
Okay, enough about that. All right, enough. Calm down.
Okay, you asked.
This is a tournament podcast.
Depends on where you live too, for sure.
What do we do? What do we do here?
We happy Mother's Day. When this comes out, it's gonna be a long time ago, but
that's true. That's true. I usually ask how you're doing, just not this year. Normally, how are you doing?
You haven't. Oh, because you changed stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Now I ask like what temperature you sleep at, or like.
I like it more because I don't have to. It leads me somewhere rather than me just saying something completely ridiculous. I'm doing.
That's what good hosts do.
Yeah. Yeah,
but Mother's Day just passed by the time this is out.
Yeah, I know. We should really do these before the holiday, you know.
Well, yeah.
But we're
recording it before.
They can't see that.
They can't see what.
You gotta stop. Yeah, we do brackets, we do tournaments, we tournament all things. So No Joke Podcast is still doing tournaments. How do you feel about that? Speaking of what we do, how do you feel about that?
It is funny because after we thought about it more, we did realize that they did it because it was during the month of March, which a lot of people do brackets and tournaments during the month of March because of March Madness.
Right.
But they're still doing it. They liked it so much, so they're still doing it. I think we need to fight them. We will definitely lose. Yeah, I think they're both like 6'5" or something.
Wait, really?
And Billy's like really built. I'm pretty sure.
I do feel intimidated, just like because they're a huge podcast, and the more they do it, other like let's say semi huge podcasts are also going to, and then
small to mid-size.
Yeah, small to mid-size, right? And we're mid small to small, I would say, right?
Yeah. Small to mid small, yeah.
Small to mid small is what we're at. Which I think is great for us, but it just get like I feel like that's testament to we have a good thing going here, and it's like how do we not?
It's a good idea.
Yeah, it is, and how do we not get left behind there? Which don't tell me on the podcast because I don't want them to know. But I
think what's going to happen is they're going to start doing ones that we've already done, and we'll be ahead of them. Like we just need to keep going.
That's
and
true.
do better topics. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, I mean the podcasts are always going to be there, so you can always go back and you'll be able to see our history,
which we haven't done yet.
We didn't do fries, right?
We didn't do fries.
But didn't one of the ones they did for March Madness? Didn't they do like condiments? Am I crazy?
Yes. No, that was the G.O.A.T show.
Oh, G.O.A.T show just did condiments. Well,
which is also similar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's really the bracket thing. Like the best this is not a super original idea, but the brackets.
Right. Having them head to head and talking about them.
That's the awesome
it's
idea.
It's literally ours.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway. We tournament here. Last week we did the Kentucky Derby, which oddly enough, there's been some drama. I know nobody listening cares about this, but it is very funny because the winner of the Kentucky Derby, the horse, got popped with like PEDs, like he was taking performance enhancing drugs.
Not his choice, by the way.
And the trainer has been so weird about it. He's like, how did those get in the system? Like, why am I the only one getting these positive tests? It's like everyone's trying to cancel me.
I thought these were horse vitamins.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about? You know exactly how this horse got caught with drugs. You're the trainer.
Bad. That's such a insanely ridiculous thing to me. Like, even when it started happening just in normal, I don't want to say normal sports, but you know what I mean? Like baseball or something. Yeah. And now it's like literally an animal. Like,
exactly.
Like juicing.
To the point where I'm pretty sure Trump had like sent out this like letter, this news thing, because he's not on Twitter anymore. He's banned.
Right. Oh yeah. Does he?
I don't know what he does exactly, but I'm pretty sure he called that horse a junkie. Like it's the horse's choice that he took drugs or something.
Horse junkie. That's play. That's almost a play on horse jockey. That's funny.
Oh yeah.
Horse, there's something there.
But very, very odd. And now I think the horse is banned or the trainer's banned from the next 2 races.
Poor horse. His career's over. He didn't do anything. He had no say in this.
He might get the title stripped from him, the winner of the Derby. So
that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Do you ever miss Trump, like his craziness?
No, what?
I don't, not as president, but the ridiculousness.
Like I would have if he never became president. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if he just kept tweeting forever, never became president, it'd be like an interest. Well, I don't know.
It's sort of like what's
maybe if he never ran at all, like he never had any power like that. If people didn't follow him as crazy as they do.
Yeah, it's true. And I guess you could say the same thing for like anybody who has a platform, even if it's like news shows and stuff like that. Like this, some people don't see it as ridiculousness, which is the harmful thing. You know
right,
what I mean?
Exactly. Even though, I don't want to get into it, but
yeah, of course. I was just wondering if because I forgot that he wasn't on Twitter.
He's banned from like every social media.
Yeah, I forgot about that because I don't just obviously I just don't see it. And
his phone is just a brick. Like, what do you do? He's banned on everything.
Can you call people?
He's banned from calling. Right. So in this podcast, before we get to tournaments, we sometimes rant about stuff going on in our lives. Guillermo, do you have a rant that you would like to share?
Yeah. I have a rant. I also have a story that I don't know if you'd be interested.
Is it a part of the rant?
Hearing it. It's not part of the rant. It's totally unrelated.
Okay, how about you story?
Okay.
Then I'll do my rant, and then you go into your rant.
Okay, sure. We can do something like that.
We'll do something like that. Yeah.
Okay. If we don't make it to my rant, I've got like a couple that I've been saving up. Okay. I just thought about this the other day, and I almost had forgotten this story even happened. I don't know if I've ever told it to you, but I want to put it on the podcast to almost like preserve it and just like, always like have it out in the ether. Have I ever told you the story about Suit Guy?
Suit Guy. It sounds familiar.
So I when I was at the University of Oklahoma, there's this one night where me and some friends like went out
to go ahead.
Sorry. we went out to a bar, right? And if you know me, there are certain situations where I can get a little like bold extroverted. If you've ever seen me, because most of the time I feel like I am kind of calm. Like reserved. I'm a little shy, a little calm. Really, mostly because I'm awkward, honestly. And just big groups is not always my thing. But there's certain moments that just I'm weirdly just too much, right? And this bar just happened to be one of those things, and that night just happened to be one of those times.
I like when you're too much. It's very fun.
It is fun. It
is very fun, and it's not often, so it's not annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad it's not often because I feel like sometimes it could just feelings can get hurt. Well, you're gonna see. Okay, so basically we go to this bar and we're having a good time or whatever, and there's this really really big dude, super buff. Just gotta be like 6'4", I don't know. He's towering over, he's buff, and he's wearing like a suit jacket and t-shirt. And if you know me also,
you know what?
do you know the story?
I have heard the story.
Okay. I totally forgot this happened until the other day. Something reminded me of it. But he's wearing the suit and a t-shirt. And if you know me, I'm not like a big fan of that, but I'm not a real fashion guy anyway. But something about it just sparked some kind of like hostility in me, and so I was like sort of like started calling him Suit Guy like really loudly, right? And just in my like group of like friends.
You didn't know this guy at all?
Don't know him
just
at all.
Just some random guy at the bar.
Just random guy at the bar. It's loud bar. There's people kind of like, it's just a bar, college kind of thing. And also, by the way, I am at this point, I'm in college, so I'm a dumb, crazy a-hole, right? Let's just tell it how it is. And I even at some point, I don't know if he came up to us or if I went up to him, but I was like, "Hey, what's up, Suit Guy?" And I like, kind of got in his face, and And this guy is huge, man. This guy's like biceps are busting out of his suit, essentially, right? And he kind of just brushed it off, and it was like whatever. And my friends were like, "Dude, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Like you gotta like leave this guy alone, whatever." And I kind of was to the point where it was a little like aggressive almost.
Sure.
Like I'm just that kind of
were you
getting situations.
tipsy at this point?
I was definitely tipsy. Absolutely. Yeah, of course. I'm not going to do this to someone when
really sober.
But basically just trying to, I don't know, just kind of taunted him a little bit. But the night went on and I ended up feeling like bad about it, right? And kind of, I do stuff that ruins my night. You know, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm that, you know, not, you kind of ride the tipsy up and down. And I was kind of like, oh, okay. So, but later, and then I felt bad about it. And at some point I went up to the bar to get a drink and he was sitting at the bar. And I like went up to him and I sat down because I'm still, you know, a dumbass. And I ordered like a drink and I'm like, oh shit, do I say anything to him? Like whatever. And he's kind of he's by himself sitting at the bar. And I was like, hey, like I apologized. I was like, hey man, like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get in your face and be like an asshole or like whatever. And I felt so bad after hearing this, but this kind of taught me like something a little bit. I mean, it really did teach me something, but he was like, no, like whatever, dude, it's okay. Honestly, this happens to me a lot because like I'm a big dude and people try to act cool a lot, and you know I get challenged a lot, essentially, right? Like people think it's cool to go to the big guy and like talk shit, right?
Well, okay, go ahead.
I mean, that's pretty much the end. But I was like, dude, like I never thought about like that really sucks, especially if like you're just a good guy and you just happen to be like, you know, dude. Just kind of some people have a presence that's kind of intimidating, or that's kind of like, you know, until you get to know them, which is the important thing about getting to know people in general. And I felt so bad, and I just kind of learned that as I always think to myself, like, don't, you know, I don't know. This is something by my age everyone should know, but it's like you gotta, yeah, you can't be intimidated by someone or do something just without knowing a person. You know
married that guy later on.
I did marry that. Yeah, exactly. He did not. Sorry.
Before I realized what the story was that you had told me this story before. When you were talking about the story and talking about this guy that's like 6'4", whatever, huge guy, I was about to say, I was like, oh, he's the kind of guy that everyone wants to like fight.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
They're like, oh, I want to fight that guy because he's the biggest guy here. Like, I want to mess with that guy. And
it's funny because I'm really not that type of person that's like, oh, I'm gonna find the
alpha,
big dog and the alpha. Yeah, I'm not into that. I don't. So we're humans. We're not alpha beta animals. Like it's just not. Anybody who thinks that's
such
dumb.
A beta thing to say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a beta thing to go up to a large man in a suit and taunt him, right? I think that's
very, very funny.
But yeah, anyway, that kind of taught me something about just like, cause yeah, I don't know. It's something I didn't think about until like, I guess I realized I was being an asshole. And yeah.
It's cool that you realize that the same night that you were being an asshole. Like usually what happens to most people, or me anyway, it's like, I'll be a drunk idiot. And then the next day I'll be like, fuck, like I shouldn't have been like that.
No, it definitely was a quick turnaround on that one for me, and part of me was probably like, I don't want to get my ass kicked while I'm sitting at the bar. But he really could have just socked me, and I would have been down. But no, I really did feel bad, and it's just funny, and I totally forgot that happened actually, and so I wanted to tell it on the podcast.
I have a story time that may have already been on the podcast, but I just want it to be on the podcast, same as you. Like I want it to be out there. There was a time where you punched a little girl. Do you remember that?
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Can we when we say that on the podcast, can we say accidentally punched a little girl?
Yeah, I guess you could say whatever you want. I'm just telling the truth of what happened. You punched a little girl
accidentally. That's part of the truth. That was accidental.
I'll just tell the story.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So you and I are at Target.
Of all places.
It's pretty late, if I remember correctly. Like Target's
Am I
about to
a bad
close.
Person? Sorry.
Right? Target's about to close.
Yeah.
And we're there just, I don't know, buying something. I don't remember.
Right.
We were in high school, I think.
Yeah, it was really early. Yeah, we were.
So we're like 16.
Correct.
And as I'm checking out, after she scans all my stuff, she's like, you get a free Target bag or something like that.
Yep. Okay. Do you remember why I was excited about it?
Yes.
Okay,
so it's a Target bag, and the bag is zipped up into a
the little Target dog.
Right. It's zipped up into a formation or form, and the form is the mascot of Target, which is the little dog with the target over his eye.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like you unzip it and it like folds out into a bag.
It's like a reusable bag. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But you could like put it back into itself and made like this Target dog. And I was like, I don't really want this. And I gave it to you, and you were really excited. You were like, "Oh, this is awesome." Maybe you asked for it or something, but I was like, "I don't want this."
Yeah, I had been making a big deal about it. I remember
you did,
that.
Yeah. So you wanted it. So I was like, "Yeah, I don't really want it. You can have it." And you were so excited. You went like that, like you punched your arms out.
I was just flailing my arms.
Yeah, you flailed your arms out.
And one of my swings of excitement, I guess,
hit this little girl walking with her mom.
Yeah.
In the face. She was, if I had to guess an age, like 7? I don't know.
10, 11 maybe. Right?
I would say like
you gotta
7
think
or 6.
Where my arms, like, to be at that height level.
You went
she wasn't old. Okay, she was a tiny child, right?
You punched her in the face. She freaked out. Looked at you, didn't say a word, and she just kept walking with her mom.
Just nothing. The mom didn't see.
No, nobody else saw except us 3. See. Well, she didn't see until it happened, so just us 2, really.
Oh man,
and you didn't really see until it happened, so pretty much just me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right, because I was just not looking really.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much the only one that saw everything happen, and it was very funny. And she kept quiet. She walked out, and you were just mouth covered, like surprised at what just happened,
dude. Yeah, I mean, thinking about it now, it's like, why didn't I go to jail? Like, that's so. If I was that parent, I would have been like, "Are you kidding? Did you punch my kid? How can you be oblivious to that someone punched your kid?" Why doesn't your kid
you're making it a bad parent?
Why doesn't your kid trust you enough to, like, if something like that happens, they tell you immediately, right? You have to have that kind of relationship when you're taking care of
you traumatize that child.
I really hope I didn't, but that's so. You know what's even more insane? Thinking back on this, which now I'm, however many, 15 plus years older, or 10 plus years older. That was a time in my life where I was getting a little bit into stand-up, actually, and I had made my first stand-up set, and I put that in my stand-up set. So for a few months, I was just telling everybody essentially that I had punched like a child, and that can't be a good look when you're like a teenager. Like, that's horrible. But yeah,
you should do some of your stand-up on here sometime.
Not from that area, but yeah, maybe one of these days. Where we gotta work. Well, that's a goal for 2021, is to have a tight 5.
Well, I'm saying you should do some that you did, but like from there, like your old stand, and then we'll judge it. You know what I mean?
No, I'm okay. I don't know if I would know much of it besides.
I think we have like a recording somewhere.
I hope not.
But yeah, so that happened. I just want that on the podcast that you were a child puncher.
That's so ridiculous.
And
accidental, alleged.
And we weren't even like shitty kids. I think we just went home and hung out after that. Like, we didn't like go out drinking or.
No, at that point it was really just me being dumb, and I was.
You were just excited.
Yeah. I'm a child. It really was just a child hitting
child on child crime. Yeah. Okay. Do you have a rant?
You said you want to do your rant second, right?
Sure. Well, I'll go whichever one first, whichever one you want.
Let's do yours first, so I can.
Okay, my rant.
Gather my thoughts.
This podcast is all over the place. My rant is about. Do you know the Gnome movies?
By name, I've never watched them, but yeah.
Sure. Sure. They're children's movies. I would expect you not to have watched them. But there are these movies that are gnome movies, and I absolutely hate these movies. Reason being is because it feels like they're working backwards, and I'll explain what I mean. Because the names of the movies, I don't know if they're connected. They're all about gnomes. I'm pretty sure all made by the same company. There's Gnomeo and Juliet. There's Gnome Alone. And there's Sherlock Gnomes. So all this company is doing is taking words that rhyme with gnome and making these gnome movies.
Oh, working backwards.
Right.
I get it. That's pretty funny.
So, I wanted to I didn't have time. I wanted to come up with my own gnome movies, just rhyme real famous good movies.
Okay.
With the word gnome. I didn't have time, but
you're pitching gnome movies. Yeah, I like it.
I think it's so stupid and ridiculous that this company is making movies like this, and it's working apparently.
Right. Oh wait, do you have a list of your own gnome movies?
I don't have them. I didn't come up with them, but anything that rhymes with gnome, if you can think of it, yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good one. I like like working
Thunder
backwards.
Gnome. I don't know. Fuck.
Ooh, I'll take you to the Thunder Gnome.
Yeah.
No, I've never. Do you know who makes them? Pixar or is it Disney?
I have zero idea. Let me see if I can look it up real quick.
I mean, it's all good.
It was released by Paramount Pictures. Sherlock Gnomes.
That for some reason the gnome movies, which is
featuring James McAvoy, Emily Blunt.
Oh wow!
Big.
I love Emily Blunt.
There's a lot of big actors in here.
I wonder.
Michael
if
Caine,
good.
Stephen Merchant, Ozzy Osbourne, Mary J. Man, fuck Ozzy this movie. Osbourne.
For some reason, the gnome,
Johnny Depp.
The gnome thing reminds me of the Bee Movie, which I still find hard to believe is I've never watched it.
A real movie.
Still, yeah, it's just so insane.
Yeah, it looks like it's Paramount, I think.
Interesting. Maybe I'll watch one to see.
Don't do it. Oh, the same people star in Romeo and Juliet. It's pretty much the same actors.
I wonder if the movies are connected or if they're all just about gnomes. Huh.
It looks like Gnome Alone is different. You know what? This is too much for me to get into. Yeah, I don't care enough, but yeah, go ahead. Well, that's my rant. Those are stupid. What's your rant?
Your rant. I'm gonna go with one of my more lighthearted ones today because we've already kind of delved into a lot of things. You're gonna think it's really dumb, but something about it when I had this revelation, I can't unknow it now. There, and there are not the same.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying they're not. What is it? Homonyms? That's the one where it sounds the same or whatever.
No, they're. It's not a homonym, but it's something else. But they are something.
It's the one that they quote. Air quotes here. Sound the same, but mean and spell different.
Sure.
It's there, and there.
Right, there. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
So to say there, and there, you're being lazy on the last one.
Say something with there,
they are going to the store.
You don't talk like that.
They are going to the store.
They're going to the store, right?
They're going there.
I think most people say it's similar to the other theirs, right?
They do. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm ranting about.
Okay.
But it shouldn't be that way, right? It should be there, and there. But people do say there, and there. You're right. Yeah. And I think, I think we should bring attention to this because that's just, first of all, there's too many theirs, right? It should be which and which, right?
No, that's what?
Why are we making our lives harder by pronouncing things lazily, right?
You're one of those people who pronounces the H in front of the W for every...
Only because there needs to be a differentiation, right?
Which
only because of
which? What are the two witches that
Which and which.
What's
So witch is like magic and broomsticks.
And which one?
Which one is that? Which is which?
How do you say
which is which?
WHO. How do you say that?
Just who?
Okay.
Not woo. Well, that was a bad example because that's
not a bad example. Woo. I'm getting somewhere.
Okay.
So you only want to say it if there's a different word that has a similar spelling.
For the sake of differentiation, so that you don't.
Why can't they just be the same? I don't feel like anyone's ever confusing a witch and witch.
But there's no chance of it if we do it like this. So now we know which there, or there. Well, it narrows it down to 2 or 1, I guess. But anyway, I don't know.
Do you want to change there and there?
No. Those are fine because it would just sound weird, I think.
But there wouldn't sound weird, or which wouldn't sound, and which wouldn't sound weird.
You're literally changing the one word to not be a word, like they and they are. They-er.
Well, I know, but there's a lot of conjunctions. I can't do that. You're not trying to pronounce the cannot. The cannot, you're trying to make it one thing. That's what I'm saying,
but you're shortening it from cannot to can't.
Yeah, you're shortening it from they are to there.
No, you're. Oh, how do you spell there? TH. No,
you're asking me how you spell there.
Yeah. No. How do you spell there?
You don't know how to spell there?
How do you spell it? I know how to spell it. I spell it with a Y.
Everyone spells it with a Y.
Well, then it's there.
What are you on about?
If it was there, there'd be no Y. That's what I'm saying. The Y is silent. Austin, the Y is silent.
You just asked me how to spell there.
I want to know how you spell it, not because I don't know how to spell it.
It sounded like you didn't know how.
We should just get rid of conjunctions, I think.
Right, that's kind of what it feels like.
No, I was joking, but that's...
Well, won't, right? Will not. I won't do this.
Wait, won't? Will not? Won't isn't a conjunction, right?
Will not?
Wait, you're right.
What do you mean I'm right? Do you not know what an apostrophe is?
Won't, will not.
You don't know what an apostrophe is, right?
I do know. Wait, what? I know what an apostrophe is.
Are you sure? Because you know that words with the
commas
it is
on the bottom.
Do you have a problem with its and its?
It's and you mean the different ones?
Yeah. Yes.
No. There's because there's no other way to do it.
It feels like you just don't like apostrophes. It's
these 3 specific ones that I'm getting at. But let's go back to won't. Where did won't come from?
From will not.
But that doesn't make sense. Where's the other O?
You're saying how did it become a conjunction?
They switched the N and the O. Look, the apostrophe is there. The apostrophe is there to take out letters, not to change the entire word, right? That's what I'm getting at.
That's what the conjunction is doing.
The apostrophe has too much power.
Okay,
that's my rant. Right. That's my rant.
You know what? Power. That's fine, I think.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
Apostrophes are doing too much. Isn't the thing where if it's possessive plural, it goes after the S? That's
awful.
That's why even go there, awful. Man. Just let it be.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What?
So sorry. I got the accent now stuck. Is this racist?
Oh god.
The irony here is unbelievable. I can't. Yeah. Anyway, you can chop all of this up and just take what was good, right?
I think I'm keeping that whole thing in. I think this is a very interesting episode for you.
Yeah, I've got a lot on my mind these days.
Okay, this is a podcast about tournaments. We spend enough time ranting. You don't like apostrophes. I don't like gnomes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
What is wrong with you? Okay.
Little Romeo and Juliet.
Swear to God.
Don't leave that gnome at home.
We talked about it a little bit before. Mother's Day just passed, or it's going to happen depending on when this comes out, it'll have just passed. So we wanted to do an episode
like a week ago. Sorry,
about moms.
Yeah.
And we did one about dads very early on.
Yeah.
We did best TV show dad.
Yeah. Did we actually say sitcoms there though? Did we say sitcom dads?
No.
Was it just TV show? Okay.
What's his name was in it? The Lannister was in it.
Oh, I thought you were saying Jeremy. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just sitcoms. Right. So same here. We have TV show moms, and we're gonna find the best TV show moms this best episode TV show moms. In this tournament bracket style.
Can I be a little too revealing to the audience and say that this list is very subjective based on the shows kind of that I like and Austin likes. Just because I can't talk about like Lucille Ball for however long, you know what I mean? Or like I Love Lucy, because I just don't know those shows super well.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, and I was bringing this up before, I feel like there's a problem with TV in that they don't have a lot of TV moms stand out as like their own, like in their show.
Sure,
kind of.
Yeah.
Or there needs to be more.
Yeah.
And there are a lot where we don't have on this list, mainly because we didn't watch those shows, so it's kind of difficult for us.
Right.
So this is kind of an interesting list. I think the winner will be okay, but yeah, it's an interesting list, I think.
I agree, and I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of people that you're like, why wasn't she in it? Why was that? I totally get it.
And to that we say, make your own fucking podcast, right?
No, listen to ours, but hold on.
Why don't you do? You think this is easy?
Or you're scaring them away. Come back. It's all right, little fella. You come back to the podcast now. Anyway, yeah.
Ronnie's gonna punch you. So let's just get into it.
I'm ready.
In the first matchup, we have Kitty Forman versus Jane Jetson. Kitty from That 70s Show, Jane from the Jetsons.
Right.
Right away, Kitty's one of the best moms, right? Like her laugh and just her as a character. Just a great character.
Great character, great actress. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great actress. And Jane named her son Elroy, right? So that's already sort of like bad mom, right?
It's the future. It's fine.
Their son Elroy. Ugh, right?
It sounds like you don't like the song.
No, I love the song.
Oh, okay.
I hate the name Elroy.
Elroy. Who else is named Elroy? Isn't there a rich guy named Elroy? Who am I thinking? No, it's Elon. Wow.
That can't be what you were thinking.
No, it's something else. John Elway. That's what I was thinking. Which even worse, probably. But
yeah. So like the dad's name is George, right? The sister Jetson, is Judy, and he got stuck with Elroy. Judy, right. Like that seems like a bad mom thing to do.
I never thought that was like a horrible name, but that's okay. And you're assuming she named him as well, which is kind of good segue to what I was going to talk about in this particular. Some of these shows are pretty dated, and even just in the intro like sequence of the Jetsons, doesn't Jane Jetson like take like a bunch of money from, and she's like, and it's kind of one of those, it's funny because
it's the woman, the wife just spends the dad's money,
and that's just super dated now, which to me is just like, just it's funny what things we thought were funny or what other people thought were funny.
I agree. I think even without talking that much about Kitty, we can move her on to win this matchup.
Yeah. For sure. And like we'll definitely talk about her.
Yeah, in the next matchups.
I'm cool with that.
Okay, next we have Cersei Lannister versus Moira Schitt. Cersei from Game of Thrones, Moira from Schitt's Creek.
Right. Which is going to be interesting because super different.
Very different. I didn't finish Schitt's Creek. I watched like a couple seasons.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, she wasn't the best mom, but that's because they were
Hilarious,
she is hilarious. She is hilarious.
Well, John, like that's every time she opens her mouth, I like die. She's awesome.
But she's better as like a person than she is like best mom.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not going like best nurture.
I feel like she's like
a
not as good kitty.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. We're almost. That's gonna be everybody if we.
No, but they're very similar in like the way they act.
Okay,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Cersei, her whole thing is doing stuff for her kids, for her family.
That's what I was going to.
She did let all 3 of her kids die, but
That's what I was going to say. Are we going for best TV mom as far as being a mom, or just in general, like from them on the show? Because I wouldn't say Cersei was a good mom
best
just because she was
the same way we did the dads.
Okay. Then I don't know that I would have Cersei as like what's the word? She's a good mom, but when you're like when you're someone like, I think that's what's the word? She has a ceiling, and the ceiling comes from the crazy things she would do for her kids. At some point, I think being a good parent is acknowledging that there's some things lengths you shouldn't go to, even though every parent is going to tell me that's total BS and they would do anything for their kids and blah blah. I do get that, but like Cersei blew up an entire like cathedral, right? Like that's a lot. That's a ton.
That's a good mom, I think, right?
So yeah, that's what I'm saying I disagree with. But
I think in the time period, I think it's a great mom. I'm going to push you for a possession if you want to advance Moira.
Yeah.
I think Cersei, I think like her whole character is like does everything for her kids, like for for the Lannister line.
And for you, that makes a good parent.
It beats Moira. Yes.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that. I think as I stand by everything I said about Cersei, but for the matchup, I can totally. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
did you want to talk a little bit about Moira? Maybe convince me.
No, I mostly just I just think she's hilarious, and she's
very funny.
I think she fits that family really well because they all have their own quirks, and I think she fits in it really well. And so when you put the pieces together, like it's kind of perfect, and they're hilarious and stuff. And to me, it's something that makes a good parent or mom is when all the pieces then finally fit together. That it But
which mom would you rather have, Cersei or Moira?
I think Moira for sure. Remember her. Cersei's kids are didn't make it.
Cersei's super scary,
right?
But not to her kids.
But eventually, her actions are going to lead to my demise. Is what I'm saying.
Not just hers. Like Joffrey was a piece of shit himself, and that's why he died.
Hey man, she raised him.
The sister. Yeah, I guess that's true. Blame the teachers. No.
Hey, what?
The sister died because she killed. Sister died because
Jaime after her.
No. The sister died because the Sand Snake woman killed her because when she kissed her. And she only did that because she was getting revenge on the mountain killing. Like that, she had nothing to do with that.
She was kind of getting revenge on Cersei, though. Like she had a thing against Cersei specifically,
right? But the revenge was stemmed from the mountain.
The Lannisters,
the Lannisters, exactly. Right. So that wasn't really her fault.
I don't know.
And then the son killed himself, which we got to look into that.
I really think that had Cersei not try to like get her back, I don't think the Sand Sisters would have killed her like in Dorne. I think she was safe in Dorne, honestly. I don't want to get into Game of Thrones stuff, but I think she was
not safe in Dorne, I'll tell you that.
Anyway, but yeah, more I mean Cersei can move on.
Okay, cool. Okay,
definitely very intense mom.
Next matchup we have Lois Griffin versus Wilma Flintstone.
This is
Lois a good mom?
This one's easy for I was gonna say it's easy for me. Yeah, I think Lois is a good mom.
With Stewie and
there are episodes. There are episodes that demonstrate that like she's a good mom. Peanut, like that's just. I don't know.
Is she a better mom than Wilma?
Mom? Is that what I'm stuck
yeah,
on?
you just want your mom to be funny. That's all it is.
My mom to be funny.
Wilma, she named her kid Bam Bam. Again, kind of weird choice, right?
Yeah, Wilma. And then Wilma's a great mom because she has to work with all this like ancient kind of kitchenware, and like there's literally a crocodile garbage disposal, right? That's a lot to maintain.
I don't know where I'm leaning.
I'll say I'm leaning Lois. Again, think of the insane things Peter does to keep someone's holding that family together, right?
I'll go with it. Fred wasn't as insane as Peter. So
no, Fred
I'll go
also
with Lois.
The Fred Wilma dynamic is also a little outdated too, because the Flintstones were basically like
is Wilma stay at home?
Huh?
Is Wilma stay at home?
I believe so. Yeah, for sure. But what's the sitcom?
Popeye?
The one. Never mind. Let's not get into this.
I
think Flintstones was a dated family dynamic also.
Okay, Lois can move on. That's fine with me. I don't.
Yeah.
And our final matchup of the first round, we have Claire Dunphy from Modern Family versus Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development. These are
both really good shows of the last, like more recent. Definitely. Do you?
I'm leaning Claire. I think. That whole show is a weird dynamic because everyone's kind of extra. Like the kids are all
right. The family's a little dysfunctional.
Yeah, the kids aren't great with her in the relationship, but they are, decent people, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
And the husband's kind of, she has to deal with a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I think he's a great like dad.
I think so too.
I love the goofy.
But
dad
I feel like it also puts like a lot of pressure on her to be like the bad, mean parent, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, she definitely does. First of all, I'll say I do think Claire is the better like mom in this like matchup, but she definitely does have to play the more like. It's not strict, it's just the more managing type of mom where it's like she's managing the household, you do this, you do that, is everything the way it's supposed to be. So
and Lucille, her kids are more
she's just spoiled.
Like, are they functioning adults? I don't know, they're kind of crazy.
No,
right?
that's even a more dysfunctional, but they're all grown at that point. But no, that she's just how much could it possibly cost? It's a banana, Michael. How much could it possibly cost? $10.
So I'm leaning Claire.
I just think the funny ones for me are like the best.
So you leaning Lucille?
No. I'm leaning Claire.
Okay.
Leaning Claire.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah. Can I just say all the ones
that
come up when you Google search? Okay, actually, one I legit wanted on here, but I don't know enough about Gilmore Girls is Lorelai Gilmore.
I've never seen the show.
I've seen episodes, and one of these days I'm gonna watch Gilmore Girls. Like it kind of is my just kind of show. I also really like the name Lorelai.
You could also listen to like I'm pretty sure there's multiple podcasts of like you watch an episode and then you listen to like the podcast about it.
That's a good idea. I never thought of that. From the Brady Bunch, Carol Brady.
Yeah, also a show that I haven't seen in years. I have no idea anything. So,
and I think all the other. I mean, there's a bunch. Roseanne.
Can I weird sneaky shout out? She's not a mom, but Alice from the Brady Bunch. I feel like she took care of those kids more than the parents did.
Oh yeah, okay, that's a good one too.
We have Skylar, Breaking Bad, Jill Taylor from. House Home Improvement.
Tool Time. What is it called? Yeah, Home Depot.
Yeah, just those.
A lot of there were a lot of ones that I was kind of like, they're there.
All right, let's finish the tournament. Let's find the best TV mom. We have Kitty Forman versus Cersei. However you want to pronounce it.
I'm glad the matchup came up like this, or I'm glad it ended up like this.
I think, like, obviously what you were saying about Cersei, like, I think, yeah, she gets past the first round, but she did kill all of her kids, basically. So I don't think she beats Kitty.
That's what I'm saying. But Kitty's a good matchup to lose to for Cersei, I think. So, but yeah, that's good.
How
for
many
me
kids
there.
did they have? They had 2, and then basically Kitty.
Oh yeah.
And then she was basically family, or she was basically a mom to all those kids, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like Hyde, like lived with them, like actually, like lived with them for like a really, really long time.
What was the Eric's girlfriend's name? The main Donna. Like her parents were weird, right? So she like took care of her sometimes.
she kind of needed. She got more structure, I think, at their house, I guess. No, most definitely, and that show gets pretty deep too, and you definitely see moments where Kitty definitely is, MVP kind of mom.
Next semifinal matchup, we have Claire Dunphy, Lois Griffin.
Right.
I'm leaning Claire.
Really? Oh well, I guess for best mom. Yes. I just watched more Family Guy. All right, I used to watch more Family Guy.
I think I used to watch more Modern Family.
Oh really?
Nice.
Yeah. Peter. Sorry, I just honestly that's why she's in here for me.
Fair enough.
Claire, I'm not gonna try to.
You're not gonna use your
possession on Lois. No, I think if I'm being a little like biased, I do just like Lois more just in general. But I mean that's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't Lois also just come from like a rich family? And
I don't know anything about their background.
She like chooses to be with Peter in like a more suburban. Like she doesn't take money from her dad. Because she doesn't want she doesn't want that kind of lifestyle for her family, which I think that's pretty dope.
That is cool.
But that's fine.
Claire moves on.
Finals,
we have Kitty versus Claire. I'm okay with either of these winning. I think I have to go with the blueprint, almost the original version. I gotta go with Kitty. I think she's a very I mean, obviously not the first. There were earlier ones, obviously, but just like that sort of version. I feel like you can even look at like Lucille or Moira and be like, oh yeah, they're kind of versions of Kitty, just like the funny sort of.
Yeah. Is that what happens a lot in these sitcoms? That the mom kind of sometimes is just the comic mom.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of thing. Yeah, that it's pretty interesting. But I think Kitty Forman's great. Yeah, for sure.
You're cool with that?
That works for me.
All right, and Kitty Forman is the champion.
It's a pretty smooth tournament.
Yeah, no possessions. You still have it. So
I actually can't believe we're 50 minutes in.
This was a wild one. Interesting.
It was a wild one. This kind of passed by fast for me, but yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. If you're still here, if anyone is still here, if you made it past Guillermo's.
I know Renee and Franz are for sure. So.
If you made it past Guillermo's accent talk, whatever that was.
I offended so many people. What if our audience was only people from like East Texas for whatever
Don't name
reason?
A specific place, man.
What do you mean? That's where I got my accent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't do that. Say one of those people who talk like that. Like, don't specifically point it out.
Don't say these people.
Now you're offending them more.
Oh no. Well.
Okay. Well, if you're still listening, we thank you. Rate, review, and subscribe on Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts rather. And Guillermo, do you have any plugs, shout outs at the end you'd like to throw out?
I mean, kind of yes, kind of no. I've been taking it easy. I'm just trying to get to the summer, honestly. But Within City Limits is always there. There will be more episodes dropping in June. So that's Within City Limits. It's a podcast. So you can find it on all the platforms. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the Great Guille, Guille. And then just always be looking out for more stuff. If you follow us on Instagram and Twitter, I'll always put out stuff. So
you should have me on one episode of Within City Limits.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah. I think it'd be funny. Cool. Okay. Thank you so much for that. If you want to hear more from me, please follow me at Austin A. Garza on Twitter and Instagram. And like I said, please rate, review, and subscribe. If you really enjoyed, please tell a friend. That's how we grow this podcast, more listeners. So, and the best way to get more listeners is you personally telling someone, "Hey, I really enjoyed this. I think you will too." So that would really help. And we'll be back next week with another episode. So, bye.
Peace.